BookTube, my name's Nadine. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are a regular viewer. So today I'm going to talk to you about the books that I read in March. So I was super excited at the beginning of March, you may remember, because it was March Mystery Madness and also March of the Mammoths. And so I came at you with a completely unrealistic TBR video, not happening this month. Yeah, I didn't get through all of those. So let me show you what I did read. So the first book that I read was Dracula by Dacre Stoker and J.D. Barker. So this is a prequel to Dracula, and it follows Bram Stoker initially as a child, a very sickly child, sort of on his deathbed. And he is nursed back to health by the mysterious Nanny Ellen, who Bram and his siblings are just obsessed with throughout their lives. So yeah, it follows sort of what's happening with Nanny Ellen, and then it switches to going to follow Bram in his adulthood, and yeah, Nanny Ellen, who had disappeared many years ago, now reappears in their lives. And yeah, it's not the best vampire book I've ever read, I have to say that. It was just the right side of average to keep me reading, but this book is now the reason why I've got a new rule for my reading, and that is I don't start any new books in the last 2 days of a month, because it took me, I think, about 2 weeks to finish this, and for me that's quite a long time for a book this size. You know, and for the content, subject matter, I should have just raced through it, but no, and it really cut into my reading time for March Mystery Madness, which I'm sad about. But it wasn't bad enough that I wanted to DNF it, but yeah, it wasn't the best book, and it kind of left me in a bit of a slump afterwards as well. So I thought, right, next I will go to something that I know I'm going to really enjoy, and hopefully I get my mojo back a bit. So I picked up Grave Peril by Jim Butcher, and that is book 3 of the Dresden Files. So in this, the veil between the world of the living and the dead has become really unstable, and so loads of really violent, malicious spirits are starting to come through and wreak havoc with the living. And so it's up to Dresden and his friend Michael to put an end to it, to find out what's going on and put an end to it, and obviously put himself in mortal danger every step of the way. So yeah, it was a fun read. Really glad to be continuing this series. Looking forward to the next one. Next I read Agatha Raisin and The Quiche of Death by MC Beaton. That's the first in the Agatha Raisin series of cozy crime. It was a reread for me. So this follows Aggie, who is a PR person from London. She's, you know, really ambitious, built up her business, and she decides to fulfill her lifelong dream. She sells her business and buys a cottage in the Cotswolds, a place that she visited as a child and fell in love with. So yes, she goes off to the Cotswolds, and although everybody's friendly enough, they kind of keep her a bit of arm's length because she's an outsider. And so she decides, in order to fit into the community better, she's going to take part in the local competition to bake the best quiche. But Aggie's not a great baker, and so she buys a quiche, and the person judging the competition who tastes it is found dead. Obviously suspicion falls on Aggie, and she takes it upon herself to find out what's happened and clear her name so that she can be part of this village and not, you know, made to feel like she's a murderer. So yeah, Agatha Raisin, always a fun time. I'm planning on working my way through those. There are tons of Agatha Raisin books. I haven't read even half of them. So and it's been a few years, so I'm happy I'm starting again and starting from the beginning. Sorry, excuse me, I've got a really sore throat. But the book that really got my reading mojo back was right at the end of the month, and that was HighEnd Finish by Kate Carlisle. This is number 1 in the Fixer Upper mystery series, and it follows this woman named Shannon, who runs a like a construction company. Like she specializes in Victorian properties in this small Californian coastal town, and she's set up on a blind date by her friend with this, well, obviously a guy she doesn't know, and everything's going great until it's not, and they have a very public scene, and then the next thing you know, he's found dead by Shannon. So the new sheriff in town is kind of suspicious of her, brings her in for questioning, and although he releases her, she doesn't believe that she's actually been given the all clear, so she starts doing some digging herself. This I read in pretty much one sitting, which is a rare thing. Yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I can't wait to continue with the series. As soon as my 100 book reading challenge is done, I will be getting on with that. And then a couple of comics. I read the second Moon comic. Like with the first one that I read last month, I wasn't overly impressed. I do have a few more already in my collection, so I'll probably check those out, but I can't imagine that they'll be staying in my collection for very long. And then Dragon Age The Missing, comic 3, comic 2. So yeah, I love Dragon Age, so that was fun. How am I doing on my reading challenge? Let me just check, because I have a little list here. So I read a lot of library books. I didn't realise how many I read, which is I love supporting the library, but it's kind of ridiculous as well, because I've got so many books of my own to get through. So I'm only 20 into my 100 book reading challenge. So gosh, I need to really focus on my own books a little. So yeah, that is my wrap up for March. As I said, I'm not doing a TBR for April because, well, to be honest, because I made one. I made a TBR pile, and there are a few readathons that I was interested in doing as well. But I decided, because March's reading was a bit mixed, I really just want to mood read for April. So yeah, I don't know what I'm reading. I don't know. But I will let you know as soon as I do. But yeah, that is it for me, guys. Hope you're all well. Hope you're enjoying whatever you're reading, and I will catch you next time. Bye!